What's going on, everyone? Austin John Plays here, and today I'm going to be going over how you can unlock all of the towers in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. You clicked on this video most likely one out of two reasons. One, because you want to know the locations of them, or two, because there's a specific tower that you don't know how to start up. Because of that, I'm going to be covering the locations of all the towers first, and then if you want the most vague thing possible, you want just a little bit of advice on where to go, just basically a map, starting off with absolutely nothing, there you go. There's the top half, the star icons are the approximate locations. You can mark them on your own map, and then if we scroll down, this is the bottom half. If that's all the information you want, go for it, but do me a favor, hit a like for just throwing it right up front in the first minute of the video, okay? If there's one specific tower that you're looking for, right about now I'm gonna have everything labeled on screen. Quick little diagram of where they are, that way you just look at which tower you're missing and then look at the timestamp down below and then figure out where you need to go. The ones that are a little bit further off and don't have a lot of water, that's their approximate location, and unlike Breath of the Wild, you can't just see almost all of them from the beginning, you can only see like 3 or 4 of them. So because of that, those are the approximate locations. If you go to those stars, which you're gonna mark their approximate location, you're gonna see the tower no problem. My first playthrough, I just did Central Hyrule, and then I did this one, then I went to the Rito area, then I did the Rito part of the quest line, and then I went around and did all the towers, which made it a little bit easier, mostly due to the ability that you get after you do that, but it's your optional. In this playthrough, I just want to go to each of the towers and just unlock them. So I'm gonna go around this entire map right now, start unlocking these. Anything notable, I'm gonna be back. The first tower I'm gonna be unlocking is going to be for, I believe it's South Hyrule Field and the Great Plateau, which is just south of Central Hyrule Field. Kind of obvious on that. And this is going to be an enemy encampment, in which case you could just make up pretty easily with Ascend. Once you get to the top, they're going to go ahead and loosen that, but it does pretty much no damage to you. The Bokoblins do more damage than that giant spiky ball. And a fun fact, you actually don't have to engage with this fight at all in order to activate the tower. Finally made my way over to the Popla Foothills Skyview Tower, which is located right next to Dueling Peaks. There's Dueling Peaks. And this is going to be one of the first shrines that you're going to experience that has sort of a quest to it. Because once you open it, you're going to realize that, oh, the power's out. Conveniently, right next to it is going to be a well, and there's someone saying help from inside of it. There's a rock wall right here. There's some boulders if you're going to be needing them. I'm actually going to be taking one of these boulders and putting it on a tree branch so I don't waste good durability of things. After making my way inside, we find a nice bomb flower, and there's a guy locked up. Hey there, mister. And there was a chest. Apparently he took the thing from the chest. Triggered the trap. Can you see the switch? If you press that, I get you out. Okay, well there's the cave entrance over there. All we need to do is just make our way in that exact direction that entrance is going to be, and we're going to be able to get him out. In the meantime, let's just rise up. Heading out this way, there's going to be a campfire in the distance, but I'm pretty sure that campfire is for an enemy encampment. Yeah, with the boss Bokoblin, so I'm not going to be heading over there. Instead, I'm going to be making my way down into this cute little grove, where we're going to be finding another well, but that's actually not related to what we're doing. Instead, we're going to follow this blurpy, and this blurpy is going to show me a nice mushroom. Thank you. And also, there's a cave entrance right here. If you need reference for the map, it's just directly south of the tower. And this is going to be the Popla Foothills excavation site. Keep in mind that you're in a cave, so there may be a bluebell somewhere, and there's a pathway up here. Is there a bluebell down here? Yep, there sure is. Headshots make him fall. 2 more hits and he's down. Fantastic, I got my Booble gem, which then also marks the cave as being complete with that checkmark icon. Also, there's a chest in here that you can just use your Ultra Hand and just pull a little bit closer, put that down on the switch, and open it up. With a topaz. Nice. Now that we've helped that guy out of that situation, if we inspect it again, it's going to be up and running, no problem. Thanks, guy. I'm guessing he's like an electrician or something. All right, well, on to the next one. The next one we're going to be making our way to is over here near Kakariko Village, which from this path from Hyrule Field, it's actually just a pretty straight path. There's some hills we're going to have to cross. Nothing too crazy. All right, fantastic. Here is the shrine that we're looking for. This is the Sahara Slope Skyview Tower. Hi, lady. Did I come to see the tower? Yeah, what's going on? What's the problem? The tower needs repairs. You came to fix it. And the door won't open and they have no clue why. It's not locked. It just won't budge. Okay. Oh, there's a blurpy here. Hey there, guy. Remember, you do one nice little low-powered hit, and then you're going to get some rupees from it, but you don't want to knock it out because it's going to be showing you where a cave is. And there's a cave right underneath it. Heading inside of the cave, there's going to be some stones on the ground, so if you don't already have yourself someone to break some walls with, there you go. You don't have to use your bomb arrows for this. However, it can take a little bit of time. And you're going to notice on our mini-map, we do have the map pulled up, so it is showing us where we have to go. Boy, I am just chewing through these, aren't I? Sometimes when you're breaking through the large rocks like this, you're going to be finding some old rusty weapons. Definitely pick those up, attach some stones to them, and then you have yourself a nice way to break some rocks. As you're coming through here, you're going to be finding some Horriblins. Keep in mind that if you get a headshot, they're just going to fall down to the ground immediately, which honestly, this was pretty helpful because my weapons were breaking and I needed some more weapons to attach rocks to. After taking care of that minor inconvenience, be sure to go get that Horriblin chest right on the top of this ledge. As you make your way through the various rock patterns, there's going to be one small path that's going to be a very small room, kind of a dead end. You're going to have a boulder in front of you. First thing we're going to do is move that boulder out of the way because I'm pretty sure there's a bulbul right behind it. Sure is. Hey, guy. As well as some rare gems. We definitely want those. Ooh, a diamond. Nice. My first one. It was on camera. But that room that had that boulder blocking the way, boulders make for excellent fused weapons to clear out giant areas, but the room where the boulder is, we just want to stand right in the middle. You're going to see that on the ceiling, and if we ascend through it, we're going to be brought inside of the tower. From here, we need to help that Rito inside so that they can fix it. Let's move these two sticks out of the way, head over to the door, and it opens, just like that. This Rito is named Bilson. They're part of the one construction company in all of Hyrule. And just like that, we have our tower unlocked. On to the next one. The next tower I'm going to be making my way to is the one in the Eldin region, which if you found the woodland stable is pretty much just going to be directly east of it, right on the other side of this hill. And if you take the path that's going north out of Woodland Stable, you're going to be able to get here pretty easily. Once you come to the Welcome to Death Mountain sign, you can just make your way on straight. A little bit of climbing, a little bit of gliding, you got this. Something real nice, because, you know, Varudania isn't going all ham right now. You actually don't need Flamebreaker armor to make your way inside of the Eldin region and Goron City. So just a big old helpful piece of advice for you. I was trying to hunt down fireproof lizards for a while just to make the elixirs, just to come here, just to realize I don't need them yet. The Eldin Canyon Skyview Tower. Once we get here, Sawson says that there's a little bit of a problem going on, that the old chunk of ruins fell out of the sky and hit Skyview Tower, and it knocked the top off. And now no one can get inside. Well, good news for you, I don't know if you just saw it on camera, there's almost always going to be at least one crag of a sky island that falls down right next to the tower. All you need to do is make your way on top of this crag, use your rewind ability, and since the top of the tower was broken off, that's going to be our point of entry. Oh yeah, look at all these other crags falling down. And then all we need to do is just go ahead, glide on inside, make a swift landing, and go ahead and activate the terminal, which is then going to power up the entire tower, and it's going to open up the door so he could come on inside and fix the top. On to the next one. Okay, I made my way to the Ulri Mountain Skyview Tower, which was pretty easy to get to. I just took the road down here. I stopped in Tarrytown and made my way up. Does this guy have an issue? What's wrong, guy? Apparently a flying monster took his terminal. This is pretty straightforward on what you have to do. Just make your way on over here and boop. I said boop, sir. There we go. You just bring it over and then rotate it in the proper orientation, and then it just kind of slats into place, or you just stop doing it and then he fixes it. No problem. Fantastic. Thanks, Sawson. Oh, I need to go activate the thing. And now we're on to the next one. In order to make my way to the tower on top of Lanayru, I come up with a fun idea, which is head to this foothill stable, and then I came across some supplies, and now I'm just going to build myself a hot air balloon with the Zonai device that I got from a gumball machine, with a hot air balloon and a flame emitter. And before I do that, I'm going to save the game in case this goes horribly wrong. We just go ahead, attach that all right in the middle, and let's walk this over to the base, find as flat as the surface as possible, start this bad boy up. And what I'm gonna be doing is I have a wooden stick, and I'm gonna use this wooden stick in order to turn it off, which is then also going to set the wooden stick on fire, which is then going to keep me afloat while my battery recharges. Or, you know, I could consume Zonai cores, but I don't want to do that. And I think this might work. Yeah, this is working out pretty nicely. This is one of my go-to builds that I've built a few times, and that in my other game I saved as an auto build. So yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend. You could also build it with a torch attached if you wanted to, but I just didn't have a torch on me. Here at the Upland Zorana Skyview Tower, you're gonna have a whole bunch of gook in front of you, and you're gonna learn about the gook a lot more during the actual Zora questline. But for now, all you need to know is you can get rid of it with water. So if you have blue choo-choo jelly or splash fruit, you can use either of those things to just get rid of all the gook. And the door is free to open, activate, and you're good to go. On to the next one. Up next, I'm going to be making my way all the way down here to what I guess is the Necluda Tower. I don't know, they have different names now, so it takes me a minute. By the way, when making your way over from the Dueling Peak Stable to the Hateno-Necluda border, you're gonna come across a monster force that's pretty high level. You could just walk past them. I'm not gonna deal with that quite yet. Just a little update, I did take sort of a roundabout way to get here that had less elevation issues. From here, I made my way through Fort Hateno. I came past here through the alleyway, just around the giant river, and now I'm just gonna be ascending straight down to the tower. I guess I could have taken the southern path, but this was just a little bit more direct for me right now. And we've arrived at the Rabella Wetlands Skyview Tower. And the solution to this one is kind of simple. Hey, Lanayru, how you doing? All you need to do for this is grab yourself 3 of these 4x4s. I just call them 4x4s because I assume that they're measured as 4 meters by 4 meters. And make sort of a U shape. Now that we have our U shape in place, let's go ahead, put it right about here. Place it straight down, and as long as these thorns are covered from the rain, you're good. Now all we have to do is throw a fire fruit. It's okay if our little It's okay if our little wooden structure gets burned, because as long as those thorns are burned, we're good. Doing that, and we burnt that one thorn that we needed, we can now enter. Great, on to the next one. Okay, let's see if I can stick this landing on my horse. Wow. Okay, just learned I could do that. Yeah, from here I'm just gonna backtrack around that lake, and then it's gonna be a nice ride up to Hateno. I don't know about you, but the music in Hateno Village will never get old for me. It really won't. While you're here, if you want to check on your house or talk to Sage, the creepy dye guy, in order to change your paraglider or your outfit colors, feel free to do that. I'm just gonna go activate that shrine because I need to. Oh, and there's a cherry blossom tree. Fantastic. Whenever you see those cherry blossom trees, make sure you pin them. Make sure you remember where they are, because that's how you're going to be able to summon Satori. He could show you where the caves are. I made a whole video on some early game tips, and it's covered in there. If you haven't checked that out, now is probably a good time. Boop, in the top right. Now that I made my way to the top where the Hateno Tech Lab is, by the way, you can't activate it until you do some later stuff with Robbie. I'm gonna be making my way over to Mount Lanayru the same way that I did in the last game. Just climbing it from the Tech Lab. After a pretty simple walk up the mountain, avoiding those gloom hands by climbing, and I made a ruby on a stick, so now it's a ruby stick. Is that what it's called? Yep, it's called a ruby stick. The ruby stick makes it so that it basically acts like a flame sword, and we can resist level 2 of being cold without having to eat any more sauteed peppers, which anytime that I can conserve resources that I'm gonna need for upgrading clothing, absolutely, I'm gonna do that. And here we're at the Mount Lanayru Skyview Tower, which doesn't have any puzzle or anything. We just activate it and we are good to go. On to the west side. Next, I decided to come over to this tower, which is located just west of Hyrule Castle, because, well, honestly, it's kind of the easiest one to get to, and I think it's the one that the game designs for you to visit first. And then all I did was put these 3 trees together, or I guess I could have just grabbed one and shoved it out a little bit further, but yeah, that, and then ascend up, and boom, we made our way to the Lindor's Brow Skyview Tower. Great, on to the next one. From here, I'm going to be heading north to the one that I'm pretty sure that's going to be in the Hebra region. To reach this area, there's a pretty simple world obstacle that all you're going to have to do is when you come across the bridge, and if you're early and you don't have the ability to fly up very well and you're out of shield rockets like I am, all you have to do is just link these up until you're actually able to climb on them. And here we go. This is the Pikida Stonegrove Skyview Tower. All we have to do is interact with the door, interact with the terminal, and that world obstacle was enough for us. On to the next one. The next tower I'm going to be making my way to is going to be I'm guessing that's the Hebra Tower right outside of Gerudo Village. And I think for this one, your horse will just automatically take you there if you're coming from the snowfield stable like I am. So here's a real interesting thing that I don't really know what's going on because I haven't, done this of just unlocking every tower before I do anything else in the game. You see right now how it's 10:50 a.m., right? Like the sun is out, it's daytime, there's the sun, it's big and orange, 11:05 a.m. And as I go down this hill, I get a blood moon. I don't know if it's linked to coming to this region. I don't know if it's linked to a certain amount of time that has passed. But for whatever reason, I just had a blood moon happen at 11 o'clock in the morning. Ooh, and off in the distance is a cherry blossom tree. Upon making your way to the Rospro Pass Skyview Tower, well, you've already taken out brambles that were, in the rain. So doing them in the snow is significantly easier because you can just go ahead and shoot off some fire and then just go ahead and walk on up. We have 3 regions left, so first we're going to make our way to over here, which is the Typhlo Ruins. So from the Snowfield stable, I'm just going to be taking my horse over. Following the one road, it pretty much brings you right into the Typhlo Ruins. Oh, there's also a Korok puzzle over here. I'm going to do that real quick. Now, welcome to the Typhlo Ruins Skyview Tower. Hey, there's a Gerudo here. It just isn't working. The terminal that starts up the tower isn't working. All the terminal parts is fine. I wonder if something's broken. Well, if you were to move away and look at the tower, you're going to see that the top surrounded by a whole bunch of these floating Zonai platforms. But I think your easiest thing is just come over here. So now I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to the ground. We're going to take these rockets. We're going to put one on each side, like so, right here. We're going to make sure there's nothing directly above us. There's not. And let's start the Zonai device. From here, our number one objective is to move this platform. So all we have to do is just land on the tower, move the platform, and then a cutscene is going to take place. You're going to explain that there was something blocking the tower, and he's like, okay, great, cool, thanks, guy. Let's examine, activate, and on to the next one. For the last 2 is going to be the Gerudo Desert and the Gerudo Highlands. From the South Hyrule Tower and the Sky Archipelago, you can actually just see it off in the distance, right down there. I was pretty close with my pin. And right here is the Gerudo Canyon Skyview Tower. If we make our way up here, we're gonna be seeing the same thing, that there's no electricity. Well, the guy who's supposed to fix it is down here, and he needs to get up here. And if you're at all familiar with the Gerudo Canyon from Breath of the Wild, the answer is kind of obvious. You just need to take this very large box. Oh, it needs to be more centered. Got it. Great. Doing that is going to bring him up the elevator. Then we just speak with him, and he's going to go and repair the tower. Simple as that. We got some chili steamed mushrooms. Thanks, guy. All right, the very last tower that we are going to be needing is going to be the Gerudo Highlands Tower, which honestly isn't that close from any sort of way that you approach it. So I'm just going to be going from here toward that general direction. I'm once again doing this little trick to get some altitude. I found a hot air balloon and a piece of metal on the floor, a flame emitter there. I had a stick. I was good to go. It's weird how standing next to this enormous amount of fire does not count as me being warm. But me holding a smaller amount of fire is enough to keep me warm. Well, anyways, good news. I was way off, but I found the tower. It's over there. And what I think may have actually been the longest trip for me personally at the beginning of the game, the Gerudo Highlands Skyview Tower. Anyways, there's going to be a guy over somewhere who's saying that, hey, there's all this snow here, so I can't get in here. But luckily, all of our construction stuff is inside this cave. That blurpy lets you know that it's inside this cave. Can I have no more arrows left. Okay. Ooh, a hearty truffle. Very nice. While we're down here, all we need is a raft. So technically, all we need is a piece of wood. Oh, I have no arrows left. I can't shoot him, can I? I could try to throw something at him. Oh, I got him! Oh, there's a cave back here with a chest. With a topaz. That's neat. Now, the end of this is just continuing with the raft, and we want to make sure that it's underneath this board right here. You want to enable ascend, and once you're underneath the 4 boards, you're going to ascend up, and that's going to put you right inside of the tower. All we need to do is examine. And there we go. I actually made an oopsie. I made my way all the way to this tower, the previous one, but I forgot to activate it. But luckily, I found a cherry blossom tree. Okay, there we go. I made my way back here. And that's it. That is every single tower in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. If you found the whole video helpful, or maybe there was just one part that you were stuck on and then you just let this be on autoplay all the way to the end, do me a favor, hit that like button. Let me know that you guys appreciated a video like this. For more Zelda Tears of the Kingdom tips and tricks, be sure to subscribe. Optionally, also turn on notifications. You kind of pick up at the rate that I'm going to be posting these videos, kind of at the rate that you're going to be playing the game. We're going to be covering tips and tricks, armor locations, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Just started the game, have done 0 optional shrines, only the 4 mandatory at the beginning. And, it's so nice to just have the entire map unlocked. Know what I mean? Now, if I reference something, I could say exactly where it is, not it's somewhere around here. Well, perfect. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Until next time, Austin John out.